Hello again. Today I'm going to do a comparison video between the Samsung Watch 5 Pro on the left and the Garmin Venu 2 Plus on the right. Now both of these smartwatches have a lot of things in common. They do blood oxygen, they do heart rate, and lots of things on the sports side. But also they will both do phone calls for receiving and making phone calls, which is very important because the Garmin watches don't all do that. So let's have a close-up look at the similarities and the differences. Similar size, I'll do the measurements of those in a minute, and they take a 20mm strap as well, so both of them have the same 20mm strap. The main difference is the Samsung Watch 5 Pro has now got a sapphire screen and titanium bezel, whereas the Garmin is a stainless steel bezel with a Gorilla Glass screen. So you need to put some sort of screen protection so that it doesn't get damaged with drops. Scratch resistance pretty good on the Garmin. Right, so 1.4 inch screen, that's the screen size with just the glass, not the bezel. And on this one is, I believe, 1.3. Yes, 1.3 inch screen on the Venu 2 Plus. Body size is 43mm for the Garmin Venu 2 Plus and 45.4 for the Samsung. Depth, this is including the heart rate sensor, 14mm or 14.2mm for the Garmin, and the Samsung, including the heart reader, is 14.4. So it looks a lot thicker, but it's not actually much thicker at all. With this one, this is the Phoenix 6, and it's 14.9, so that is a little bit more. It's got the same 1.3 inch screen. Both of these are OLED screens, so they're nice and bright, sunshine or indoors. The Phoenix 6 that I just had, that's a transflective display, so you need sunlight really, or some sort of indoor lighting to be able to see it clearly. And battery life, you can get a lot of the watch faces the same on these two watches, or similar, not exactly the same obviously. Battery life is much different though. The Venu 2 Plus, if you don't have always on display, then that will last for 9 days, whereas the Samsung Pro 5, that will get a maximum of 4 days with the always on display off. About the same though if you have always on with everything else on, which is about 2 days. Nice looking watches, both of them. And you've got the apps. If you scroll to the left, you have the apps there. And with the Garmin watch, you can go up from the bottom or down from the top. There we go. So it'll both do the same thing, and they'll have the app sections there. Apps are a little bit laid out differently, but they do the same thing and they give the same sort of information. Don't forget to subscribe, it does help the channel. Right, so as you can see, the information's pretty much the same. You've got all the different things. The Garmin has body battery, which the Samsung doesn't have, which I do find is quite accurate on the Garmin watches. This one has a temperature reader, but it's not activated yet, so I'm not sure how good that is or how much it affects the battery. But otherwise they are very similar in size and style to each other. Both the same sort of price as well. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick one with the Samsung 5 Pro on the left and the Garmin Phoenix 6 on the right. Now these two watches have a lot more difference. The Samsung, of course, you can make and receive phone calls, whereas the Garmin doesn't do that. You can't make or receive calls at all. Also doesn't have a touch screen, and it has a transflective display, But the Garmin, you'll get 14 days or 15. I've had 15, 16 days out of it with the battery life. And that to me is what I think you should be getting with a smartwatch. The longer battery life, you really don't get so tired with keep charging it up and taking it off all the time. You can do a lot more with it. Titanium with this Fenix 6 as well. It's got titanium on the back, titanium bezel, and it's also got the sapphire, as you can see. So it's a nice quality watch, and the titanium on the Fenix 6 I've never had any problems with, whereas the Samsung is already starting to show signs of scratching and things. But I'm hopeful with the Samsung. I'm enjoying wearing it, and I find it quite a nice looking watch as well. As you can see, 80% battery and 12 days left, so the battery life is definitely a big difference there on the Fenix 6. And the thickness, it's not that far off. The Fenix is definitely a little bit thicker though. So if you're used to wearing a Fenix 6 or a Fenix 7, then the Samsung, people keep saying how thick it is, but the Samsung isn't really that thick if you're used to wearing a chunky watch anyway. Both of them are nice watches. Both of them are watches that I do enjoy wearing and I do wear regularly. Quick shot on the wrist of all three. I don't think any of them are going to go under a shirt cuff very easily. So it's more of a sports watch, not a dress watch anyway. Right, okay, so I'm going to come to the end of the video here. I'll just give you a few beauty shots of the watches so that you can choose which one you think is the nicest looking. And you can see there the transflective display on the right. It doesn't shine up as much as the OLED screens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.